The following program is a live podcast with hospitality individuals and chefs who are real people. Topics may include drinking, occasional vitamin use, choreographed violence, Appalachian humor, politics, comic books, ghosts, overindulgence, polyamory, theft, obstruction of justice, bleeding wounds, and more. These things some people may find offensive, but are not limited to what may offend some people but not others. The show does occasionally use language that would be not safe for work. But it's how real people talk, and like we said in the first line of the warning, these are real people. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please call our comment line at 860-744-4767. Thank you.
Don't smell like a turtle cage.
I must have drank me about 15 Dr. Peppers.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
We are a rescue team, not assassins.
Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about 45 minutes. Somebody open the window.
I have to ask you this to your knowledge. Does Hulk Hogan stuff his tank?
He needs to.
His penis is too small?
I've seen him in the shower.
He's got a little penis.
Nice muscles, Tyler, dude.
I actually give a whole talk about treating our work like an athletic event. And when you see it that way, doesn't mean you don't have fun. And I mean, having a shift drink and hanging with the people you just did battle with should never be taken away. But I mean, what's wrong with like calling that out a little bit? It almost feels like our industry is growing up a little bit. And I know it's easy to hold on to what was and to really glorify it. And I liked the School of Hard Knocks. I liked how hard life was. I felt like I was doing something not a lot of people could handle. But it doesn't mean it needs to be the norm. And I think that to have that stuff challenged, I don't think is that awful.
I admit I don't look like the athlete of the day supposed to look. My belly's just a little big, my hand is just a little big, but brother, I am bad and they know I'm bad. And there were two bad people. One was John Wayne and he's dead, brother, and the other one's right here.
If you just shut the fuck up for 30 seconds, you might learn something.
Welcome to PlumLuvFoods Pod, #1 live digital audio industry show for chefs by chefs. Hosted by multi-time Food Network winner and award-winning chef, Chef Plum, and culinary veteran who starred the Food Saver commercial, Chef Death. So wrap, date, and rotate because the boys are about to set your top laws. Here are the Good Brothers.
Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what's happening? It's Thursday night. You know what time it is. PlumLuvFoods live on them internets right now, hanging out with you. Excited to be here. We got a fun show tonight, boy. It's going to be a lot of fun, as always. Comedian, former prison guard, author Mike Knox is going to join us here in a few minutes and talk to you. He's a nice guy, fun guy. I can't wait to talk to him a little bit, have him join the hijinks happening. What's happening, friends? Excited to be sitting here with you tonight. You know, it's a Thursday. Got my Guinness poured. About to have a great time. We got some fun stuff to talk about. We got some fun content to show you. We got a great guest. It should be a fun show. It's going to be a great hour, I feel like. At least I think it is. It's going to be fun. Of course, sitting over here in the big chair next to me is the one and only Chef Jimmy. What's happening, buddy?
Living the dream, my friend. Living the dream. Excited to be here tonight on a Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Hanging with the boys.
It's going to be fun. I feel like is that audio too high? Let me turn the audio down a little bit. There we go. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun show tonight. And of course, back there in the booth doing all the business for us, Chef Dan. What's up, buddy?
What up, what up? You know, as usual, happy to be here. What's going on, fellas?
You do have a nice smile on tonight. Look at you.
Oh, hey, I'm always trying to keep it smiling, keeping it happy, keeping it positive all day long.
All right, well, that's what
you
know
all
what
those
I mean?
affirmations are
affirmations.
Yeah, it's working out for you. I mean, if you find Dan's Instagram, let me tell you what, he's always changing the world on Instagram. Those affirmations, you got to be running out of shit to write.
Yo, I mean, but there's so many things to be grateful for, bro. And also, it's like every day you remind yourself, like, what's important and what really matters. Like, stop getting away from all the bullshit that you can't control, and I just focus on myself. And every day I have something to work on.
Do you think, Dan, you could pull one of them up and read to us here, like today's? Would you mind pulling up just to read it to us so we can hear it? Because I want everybody to understand exactly what we're talking about here on your Instagram. You can find, obviously, Dan is at Chef Dan the Spice Man on Instagram. He does these every single day. And when he first started writing them, Jeff, I thought we were getting a suicide letter live on Instagram. That's what I thought was happening. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like,
and and still I didn't get a phone call. But anyway, never was like, hey, bro, you good? Nope. He just judged me for it. It's cool. But that's just important.
Wait for the next post. That's all. I was excited.
What's the next post going to be? He's still here. Yes.
Dan sitting there dangling from a rope, just hearing a thump. As
I press my last gratitude.
Yeah. All right, can you read it to us? What was today's?
Sure. So, you want today's?
Whatever you got.
Here we go.
Okay. So my today, I was thinking long and hard about. I always think about them because it helps me before I go to bed. I think about where I'm going with it, and so cultivate detachment. Sometimes you tend to latch onto things, and you can't let things go, and you can't do that. You have to allow yourself.
I just want you to read what you wrote.
Go. And then radiate kindness, and then be virtuous.
Because here's the thing, you can't give any context to it. I just want you to read exactly what you wrote.
Okay, cultivate detachment, radiate kindness, be virtuous.
All right, let me tell you what that translates to all your friends. Dan's getting a divorce, and he took a lot of pills this morning.
Whoa. I mean, that wasn't today. This was the last one.
It comes across. I was like, there's something bad going on.
That's what you heard out of that?
That's what I got from it.
I was like, man. Dan's been listening to some fantasy novels, and his vocabulary. He's feeling really. What's the word? Royal.
Royal. You've peeped the vocabulary. I appreciate that. I've been working hard on trying to have bigger words in my life.
Yeah, virtuous. I see you.
Yeah, virtuous.
Well, shout out to you then for Dan. I'm glad that you're finding some good things in life to point out and be a part of. I appreciate that, Dan. So listen, we're happy.
Appreciate you.
Dan's doing well for us.
Appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate both of y'all and myself.
We haven't talked about this yet, Dan. We'll talk about it more as we get closer. But Dan and I are going to fucking France together in October.
Woo! Yo, I got me a Speedo for the fucking beach. I can't wait. Oh, it's nice. Yeah.
Purple blue. So I can hold the plums in.
Yeah, there you go. You got the purple, I got the blue. It's going to be great.
We're going to walk around like a bunch of French dudes, me and Dan. That's our plan.
Mm-hmm. With fucking berets and everything. It's going to be awesome.
We're going to take the slippers off the cruise ship and just walk around with those.
I see nothing smarter, honestly. If you guys just walk around bathrobes, berets, and slippers, you'll get service anywhere you go.
I guess so.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. But also coming up here really, really soon, Labor Day, Memorial Day. I mixed them up. May, Memorial Day. So Memorial Day. Wait, right? May, Memorial Day. Yeah. There it is. I'm going to be we're going to all be at the Rosé Soiree out in Southampton, in the Hamptons. A fantastic event. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's happening the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. I can't remember the actual day. It's right there, May 26th. There you go. May 26th, Dance Papers. They do all kinds of events. We're excited to be there. We are actually, I think, going to live stream the whole thing, which is going to be really fun. We're going to talk to customers while we're serving these amazing Wagyu burgers. I'm really excited about it.
Hell yeah.
Should be really fun. Come out and see us if you haven't thought about it yet. It's going to be awesome. We're looking forward to it. And Dan, also, too, we haven't done it lately, but we should make more of a bigger deal about this than we do. Like every other important program out there in the world, you think about your Fox Newses, you think about your headline news, you think about your CNN, you think about any of those things. What makes them important? Well, they have what's called a ticker. And guess what we have here at Plum Love Foods Live? We have a ticker as well. There we go. Shout out to the ticker.
There it is. Ticker. There it is.
We're left for the ticker. There we go. Thing. There it is. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Check us out in Southampton. It's going to be awesome. We got some other events lined up too. We'll talk about those as they get closer. But it's going to be awesome. We're excited. I can't wait to go to France with Dan. We're going to do some stuff. Hopefully we do the show from there, as I'm hoping, Dan. You and I can sit on the boat and do this show.
That'd be awesome.
We're going to see.
France. Interview some French people. Eat some baguettes. That's going to be awesome. And they still eat foie gras. Do they eat real foie gras in France? Is that still cool? Foie gras.
Yeah, they eat foie gras. Of course they do.
Yeah, I can speak a little bit of French. Brunoise.
They eat
Julien. Foie gras.
It's going to be great. It's going to be delicious.
I'm excited about
Bordeaux. I can't wait for that.
Yep. It's going to be awesome. So,
and Spain.
But tonight, we have a fun show tonight. I'm excited about this one to tell you all about it. We got a guest joining us now on the program who has written books. He's written a book about his daughter's epilepsy, which is pretty incredible. He was a former corrections officer. So this dude worked in a jail which means we're going to be talking about jail stuff later, of course. Getting back to Jeffy's old, stomping grounds, I guess, so to speak. And not only that, he's also a stand-up comedian in L.A. on the West Coast. We're excited to bring to the program tonight Mr. Mike Knox. There he is.
Hey, there he is.
What's up, brother?
How you doing?
We are living the dream, my friend. How are you? We're excited to have you here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, you're in L.A., right?
Yes.
And so in L.A., you have written books. You're on the comedy scene. You have worked as a prison guard. All of those things are super interesting, but I want to start with prison guard. Jeffy, is it bad that I want to start with prison guard?
No, that's exactly where I want to go to. I want to hear prison stories.
Of course he does. Of course he does. Well, Mike, just give us a little rundown. How did that start? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your history. How did you get into being a prison guard and writing the books? And, give us the Reader's Digest version.
Sure. I had a friend that worked in a prison, but he worked in Arizona, and it was a minimum security, and he was like, that's easy. And this was before the internet, so I couldn't fact check anything. And I realized everybody lies to you about it. So I had an internship in college. It was for a parole, and they said you got to work in actually it was probation. They said you got to work in a prison, but probation and prison doesn't know what they do, and jails and prison don't know what they do, and parole and probation don't know. So you're just listening to a bunch of lies. And then I went through the academy, and I had signed up for a minimum security prison, but the day I graduated from the academy, it changed to a maximum security prison.
What? How does that happen?
And then, because it just changed. Prison is all about change. Everything changes. And then, they told me, you won't have any interaction with the inmates because you went to college. You'll be up in a tower. So the first day that I got there was a guy with like no teeth, and he was like, "You're gonna be on the ground for the next 20 years, boy." I was like,
oh my God.
And you're on the ground, and you're around the inmates all the time, and you couldn't get it. That was the thing that sucked about the prison, is you couldn't get like a stable job. It was just a different job every day because you're new, and they just abuse you because you're new.
Oh my God.
The good thing about it was I wanted a job at the time because I didn't have a job and I had no money, and comedy doesn't really pay anything. So I just had a job, I was getting paid, and then I had benefits because I'd never had benefits in my life, and I'd never had like a holiday or vacation day. I never knew what that was. And then you kind of get sucked into, now you're making money, you're making pretty good money. And then you're looking at your friends who they're not really making a lot of money, or they're losing their job. And then you kind of get stuck in this idea about prison. But I wanted to write a book about prison, so I did write a book about the prison. That's what I intended to do. And then I also intended to get out of there. There was hiring freezes at the time. So it was, the first year was okay, but it was the next years after that was because you just feel trapped. You can't get out of there.
Okay. So hang on a second. So I got like 15 questions. Maximum security prison, you said there was a different job almost every day because you were the new guy, right? Yep. What are some of those jobs? And what was your favorite?
My favorite was AdSeg, the hole, which is I worked because they're all locked down for 23 hours. So you're not like in the middle of a day room where 200 guys are surrounding you and walking around your back. But the new jobs are basically, they're like sick coverage. So when somebody's sick, they put you in like, you're covering the visiting, because there's visiting pretty much every single day. So all the families are processing those families in and out. That's where all of your contraband comes in through, for the most part, is through visiting. Or you're on the yard, is an S&E, which is like you're searching cells, or you're delivering files, or you're watching the yard. The main jobs that you have is housing and feeding, because each yard is divided into 1,000. There's 4 yards, and each yard is divided into 1,000 men. So you got to feed those guys, and it takes you all day to feed those guys and house them out of the housing unit. Guys that don't want to be, once they get out of their cell, they don't want to go back in. So you're just basically like, it's like cattle. You're herding everybody in and out all the time, and then you're trying to feed them. So the idea that it's like you got all this time to rehabilitate, it doesn't exist, and it's not going on.
I just picture like Oz, like that's a picture in my brain, like just Oz.
Yeah, and it is. It's concrete and steel, and it's very depressing. And for me, I just kind of, you gravitate towards people that you get along with, and those were the people that were, you could joke around with them, and I would use humor to get through it. But you can really get sucked into. I've had 6 guys that I work with that committed suicide because you fall into this deep, deep depression because you figure there's no way out of it.
Wow.
And so there's probably like 90% of the people that are just in a cult.
Right.
The other 10% you can get along with, and they, you have that camaraderie with them. But you have more problems with the people that you work with than the inmates. I mean, the inmates they're stone cold killers, but you do make friends with them. But they're nicer to you than the people that you work with for the most part.
So, yeah, no kidding. How long ago was this?
This is I left in 2005.
So I know it's a little bit different world right now, but I'm just curious because we're talking about how totally awful this job is. Like, what is the job starting pay for a job like this?
So the starting pay was $14. I actually took a step back, and the only reason that I did that was
Mike.
I wanted to write the book, but I also wanted I needed medical insurance, at the time.
Yeah.
Thankfully I was single because it was very hard. Like my wife didn't understand as I got married and had a kid. My wife didn't understand prison at all, and everybody there for the most part knows each other. They're married. There's a lot of nepotism. So they're used to being, held over for 20 hours and you can't leave the prison. My wife didn't understand that at all.
Wow.
The first time that there was, they had all the inmates had boarded up on New Year's Eve. I think my first year there, and I had been stuck there. You can't leave. And so it's New Year's Eve. She's thinking I just disappeared and I'm getting drunk with my friends. And I'm like, no, I was stuck in the prison. I can't leave.
Oh my God.
So outside, nobody understands what you're doing. You're going to like birthday parties for kids and stuff like that. And you can't talk to anybody about, hey, we cell extracted somebody, because nobody understands what you're doing.
No one knows the fuck you're talking about.
No. And my God. Prison keeps it that way. They don't want anybody in there talking to anybody about it. They kind of keep it a secret.
Dan grabbed some pictures of just a maximum security prison. Like, there you go. For some reason, it always has basketball courts. Never understood that, but there you go. Basketball courts, barbed wire. Like, is that familiar looking? I mean, is that what it is?
Well, because and I would be like, the dream job would be up in the tower, but most of the new people are on the ground.
Right. Here's a minimum security prison. Oh, look at this. They got the weight room. What the fuck? The gymnasium.
That's probably more feds. The feds is a much better one than the state, and I work for a state.
Wow, look at that. I mean, but there's a difference. I mean, that to that. I mean, that's the difference.
Which prison did you work for? Can you tell us?
Yeah, it was Lancaster. It's the only one in Los Angeles County.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, so we're talking murderers. We're talking like the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Big gang presence.
Big gangs, which is the interesting part too, because when I worked as a parole agent, you're heavy gangs, heavy kind of racial profiling inside the prison, and it's not, you're fine when you're outside of the prison. So it's really bizarre. They divide everybody up by race, and then when they get out of the prison, it doesn't exist anymore. So it's just the prison, of course, it's a city in itself.
I mean, this is a question obviously everybody wants to ask Jeff, and it's coming up on Facebook right there from Paul Winnick on Facebook. Prison sex is real. Well, Chef, yeah. I mean, what happened? Do you stop that? What do you do? No. Hey, don't put that there. I mean, what do you say?
You don't say anything. It's just it's mental, and the way that it's one of my things I do in my comedy routine. If you're in a cement box for 10 years, and one day your cellmate turns to you and says, "Hey, I'll blow you for a Snickers bar," you're thinking to yourself, "It doesn't sound like it's a bad idea."
Look, I really like Snickers. I mean,
and so it mentally took me a long time to realize that's all they're doing in there, and it's just the idea of people are like it's sexual assaults. Yeah, that very minimally that does go on, but for the most part, it's consensual, and you would see it, and you just kind of. I got to accept it. There's nothing I can do about it. But then I as I went along working in there, I was like, well, why wouldn't they be doing that? And then why wouldn't, if you went to prison and that's what you like to do, why wouldn't you go to prison then? And a lot of it is revolving people coming in and out of the prison. So yeah, it's very real.
I mean, prison's kind of like Vegas, I guess. Like what happens, we just leave it there. Nobody's talking about it, right?
For some guys, you kind of realize like they don't have to work. They get away from their family or their old lady. So
it's like it's a retreat.
Yeah, or some of them it's a break, and you'll see them come in through the holidays, and it just sounds very bizarre, but it is for a lot of people. It's the way of life.
But it sounds like it's a lot of fodder for, doing stand up. I mean, when you do all these crazy things, the amount of stuff that you can just come up with from being around all this it's just got to be unbelievable.
Oh yeah, because where's the main thing that everybody carries everything when they're butt naked? They're carrying it where?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Carries the weapons and everything. Yeah.
How many times have you seen things shoot out of them when they cough?
Pretty much all the time, because you're stripping. That's one of the things about prison. You're stripping them out, which was
bend bizarre. Over, grab, and project out that bag of Coke
all day long. Yeah. Inside the prison, they're going from like the chow hall to the housing unit, and you're stripping them completely out naked, squatting and coughing. Yeah.
Good Lord, Mike. So what was some of the stuff people try to sneak in? Is it drugs usually, or is it like razors? Like, what are we trying to get in there? Here's $80. Like, what do we do?
Yeah, it would be cash. It would be cell phones were huge as I started to leave. So that's probably the number one contraband right now is a cell phone. Just
getting an iPhone up your ass is hard.
Yeah, but it's amazing what people can put up their ass, man. It's crazy.
That's your next book.
Yeah, drugs always, because drugs, would they can sell it and make money, and that's what it's all about, making money.
Yo, how like has there ever been like a clown car guy? Like a guy like you came in and you were like and he's like and then like one thing falls out and you're like, I don't know, you look like you got a little more in you. Do it again, right. And he's like. And like a knife falls out, and he's like,
there'd be officers
and like like 2 or 3 more things. Like
yeah, and it would be that was my thing is I'm like, I do not care what you're carrying with you, but to other staff they would like stare at them until they got everything out of them, and they love to do that stuff. I did not enjoy doing that.
Jesus, Dan, you got anything on prison you want to talk about? Oh, your mic's muted, buddy.
Yeah.
You guys are pretty much running the gamut on the fun things that could come out of people.
Yeah. Well. So, all right, we got that covered then.
What's the worst? Does there ever? No, I don't want to talk about bad things. What was a actual good experience that you got out of jail that may be something that people don't talk enough about, like things that were like, maybe a little bit beyond what is the scary things that happen?
Oh, well, you make friends with them. I mean, you're with them all day long, and you make a relationship with them. It's just a bizarre relationship because you're not allowed to say that I'm friends with that person because they're, the main thing is the officers are constantly looking to see if you're, if you're violating some sort of rules or whatever. Like if somebody wanted, I got disciplined for helping a guy read. I got disciplined for helping a guy learn math. Show some compassion to these guys who had never seen compassion before. To me, that was the good side about prison was it gave me the opportunity to see humanity, and I learned, wow, this is I was never subjected to any sort of crime or gangs or anything growing up, so it was a huge eye opener. Like, this is a whole different side of society. So to me, that was the positive side of it.
Damn, that's interesting.
It's pretty racial, right? It's pretty like it's all pretty racially segregated as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and like that's done by the inmates because it's run by the gangs, and then you have outside sources that are like, we want to put a stop to this, and they can't put a stop to it, and it's unfortunate, but the prison is really run by violence and anger, and that was kind of my thing. It's like when you get pulled over by a cop, and you're like, I realize you pulled me over, but why are you so angry? Why are you so pissed off? You knew that I was speeding, the outcome, here's my license and registration, but you're still angry. And it's just, that was what everybody was trained to do, was just be so angry and, upset at everyone.
This sounds like the worst place ever to work. Just, $14 an hour, go work at McDonald's, dude.
I hated it.
In and out.
After you work there 3 years, then you get a huge pay. That was just when they start. And the reason that they do this is so many people quit. So
right.
It's like our little test is, we're going to screw you as much as we can for the first few years. But then if you stay around, if you stay around, like after the first year, they give you a big bump. And then the third year is when you're no longer considered a part-time worker anymore. You're considered a full-time worker. What you're trying to do.
Would you ever go back to it? Would you ever go back and do it again?
No, there's people that love to go back there. And I said I would never go back there because we did have, when I was working parole, they started to get rid of parole. And I was one person away from having to go back to the prison. And I was like, I'll never go back there.
All right, last one for me on the prison thing, then we can move on, at least unless Jeff's got something more to add, which I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Worst thing that ever happened to you, was there any moment where you actually felt scared? You're like, my life's in danger right now.
Oh, yeah, you're scared every day. And it's the idea that if you're not scared, then they think you're crazy. But everybody's scared because it's natural to be scared. But you assimilate into it, and there comes to a point where you're just falling asleep in the middle of the day room floor with all of these convicted criminals around you.
Jesus.
So probably the scariest is always when there's an alarm goes off. And then there's stabbings. There's usually fist fights about every day because there's so many men there. And then just when you can't really see what's going on, it becomes like especially when there's like a riot going on or a fight on the yard. That's probably the scariest because you don't know what's going to happen next. You can't anticipate, and you kind of go into like that tunnel vision. Your mind is like a shutter flashing, and everything slows down, and you're just basically trying. It's survival mode. And luckily, I only had to experience that a few times. But and luckily, for the most part, huge things where people actually were killed. There was only one time that I was there where a guy got killed in front of me, and that's the very sad part about prison.
In front of you.
Yeah, because you're watching and it was gang related. There, you can watch. You can you get a feel for when the yard is going to go off. You get a feel for when these guys are going to fight sometimes, because you're watching you're watching human nature in front of you, so you can kind of anticipate sometimes that something's going to happen, but sometimes they'll do stuff right in front of you.
Like the most animalistic human nature I could only guess. Yeah. Dan, you got plugs so we can get out there for Mike before we move on here? You got some plugs for him?
Mike Knox Comedy. Check him out on IG. He got the link tree in there. You can check Vivian's Reign and Straight Fish are his 2 books. They're both available on Amazon. Go check them out. Dude got some stuff going on. All kind. Mike Knox Comedy. Where you touring at? Yeah, you popping off in any comedy places? You hitting the what is it called? The Comedy Store in LA? You ever been there?
I've been there. I usually like going to the Ice House. Just places like Comedy Store and Laugh Factory are just harder for me just with the family because it's late nights and different clubs are different. So the Ice House is just easier to get to for me, and I can get in and out. So I usually like going there.
Ice House, check them out.
Talk about the books a little bit, man. I was watching a cool Instagram video you put up of a woman who was checking out your book about epilepsy. Dan, you got that picture you can throw up so we can see what book that is. It just seemed to really like help her. There goes Vivian's Reign. Talk about this, man. I don't want to harp on it or anything, but I definitely want to touch on it because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, my daughter had started having seizures at the age of 2, and my wife and I were in and out of the hospital with her and trying to find out what was wrong with her. She finally got diagnosed with epilepsy, which is a brain disorder that affects 65 million people, worldwide. Yeah. And thankfully, at the age of 8, she got a vagus nerve implant, which is like a pacemaker for your brain. And so she's been seizure free about 7 years. And
unbelievable.
She had to have that replaced. That was replaced last year, but now she's 17. She's in the 10th grade getting straight A's, and she's just, enjoying her life. Whereas her diagnosis around the age of 7 was she was going to be a vegetable and never, mature past the age of 7. So huge turnaround for her. And I wrote the book just because I felt so alone as a parent, and I really felt I got no compassion as a parent from anybody, from hospitals. My work was horrible to me about it. And just kind of epilepsy is really a invisible brain disorder. You have so many people affected by it. There's, 1 in 6 people are going to have a seizure in their life. My daughter's been bullied because of her seizures. And so there's just a lot of, bad education. There's not a lot of laws in my state for California. So the schools don't have to recognize epilepsy as a disability. And they can basically stick their head in the sand and, ignore you. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to do is create a state law where law enforcement needs to be trained on seizures and epilepsy. And I think that's the only way that things change is when you educate, because unless you kind of have to force people to recognize that there is something wrong until they actually pay attention. But I mean, epilepsy's been around thousands of years.
Unbelievable. How old was she? You said she was 3 when you got diagnosed. What led you to get that diagnosis? What was happening?
So she had at the age of 2, my wife found her in her crib having a seizure, and she flatlined.
I can't believe how scary that would be.
That was I've had PTSD ever since, because it hasn't just been that, but that was a huge seizure where she came very close to dying, and thankfully we got her to the hospital in time, and she was resuscitated, and she lived through it. She had a few more just like that also, and there's called SUDEP, which is sudden unexpected death in epilepsy. That's what a lot of people pass away from who have seizures, and it's simply they're having a seizure in their sleep, which is my daughter would have seizures in their sleep. And their heart stops, they stop breathing, and they pass away. So it's epilepsy kills more people than breast cancer does.
Unbelievable. And
very, very deadly.
But this implant she has now has really helped her live like a good life, right?
Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. It's it's not a cure, but for my daughter, she's one of the top percentage where it's done fantastic for her, because beyond that, for me as a comedian, it was hard she couldn't even understand sarcasm or jokes, and me as a father trying to joke around with my kid who's just a zombie. It was so heartbreaking. She couldn't do anything on her own. And so after about 6 months after getting that implant, she woke my wife and I up, went to, made her lunch, dressed herself. She could never dress herself before. She could never make her own lunch. Put a Lego set together. So that was huge. It was like a light bulb went off. She was off and running.
Wow.
Wanted to go to school, where she was always afraid of going to school. She always had. So it wasn't just the seizures. It was insomnia. It was brain fog. It was memory loss. It was all these things that as a parent, you're just, so sad that your child is going through that.
Unbelievable, man. What a great story. But amazing. Medicine's come so far. It's crazy to see all the new things we can do with stuff. And I'm so happy that worked out for you. And shout out to those doctors for making that happen. And hopefully,
that's amazing.
Yeah. As a temporary, fix. For her, it probably feels like it's fixed, but I can't, the surgery is an intense surgery for her. Is it?
It's actually, I looked at it like it was worse for me as a parent, but it's like 45 minutes to an hour. And she was,
wow.
Took her home. She was eating a Happy Meal, playing with her friends that evening. And that was at the age of 8. So when she got it done last year at the age of 16, it took a little bit longer because of 8 years she had grown. But it really is quick surgery and quick recovery. I was pretty amazed by that as well.
Wow, that's amazing.
Incredible. Yeah, happy for you on that, man. Happy for you. That's fantastic, man. Really, that's incredible. On to some more fun stuff. I obviously want to talk about the books. You got a second book out too, right? This right here, Straight Fish. I don't think I know much. Oh, this is your correction officer's book, right?
Yeah. So straight fish is what they called you when you were brand new. A fish was a derogatory term that they could use, and then straight was you were just you do absolutely fucking nothing. You're a straight fish. So that's because you're not allowed to curse at the officers. So that was a way that they could give a dig to you. So they call you straight fish.
Wow. All right. Well, and both those books, Jeff, aren't they available on Amazon?
Yep, they absolutely are.
Definitely worth checking those guys out. Mike's a nice guy. He's got some great stories, so we're excited to help put those out there, and we'll put them on the social media as well, so everybody can see them there. Mike, we thought it'd be really fun though, and I'm gonna let Jeff kind of drive the truck with this one because with your prison experience, we like to watch cooking videos in this program, and we always try to say nice things. Everybody watches cooking videos and they judge them and say terrible things. We'll put them up and try to say something good. And between the three of us, there's over 100 years of culinary experience. That sounds crazy, but it's almost 100 years now, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. But we try to say the nice things. But we figure with your experience in prison and working as a correctional facilities guard, maybe you've experienced some of these things. Maybe you've got some tips and tricks that these guys could use to help make their dinner experiences better after watching these videos. You down?
Oh yeah, it was some of the best. Food and art were always the best because they had to come up with nothing. So yeah,
that's awesome.
But wait, did you ever have
number one food?
Oh, where did you have that at? You just had that sitting right there.
I would collect everything from the prison, so I got everything, weapons and stuff like that.
I'm just trying to see if nobody searched you before you came on the show.
What's that?
Nobody searched you before you came on the show. I'm not sure where that was. It just kind of came out of nowhere.
But everybody thinks it's cigarettes, but it's the
sure.
And then they would take the spice from inside there and apply it to other food, because that was the thing about prison is so much. You're making food for 1,000 people. It was so bland, it tasted horrible. So they would come up with all these different concoctions and stuff. Same with alcohol. They would just ferment the fruit that was given to them. So
making that hooch.
Yeah, they were always drinking.
Oh man.
Did any of the inmates ever try to say, Mike, you got to come over here and try this? And they made some crazy toilet bowl shit.
Oh yeah.
Would you try it?
I never did, only because I didn't want to get. This is the thing. It's like I could totally see my luck. I would get in trouble for it, but they would hand you a cup through the port and be like, "Hey, try this." I just, I made white lightning. I just knew that my luck, I would get in trouble for trying it. My kidneys would probably fail too, but I would probably get fired for
food poisoning. But we'll leave that alone.
There were two guys that would always cook this pruno, and they flooded their cell one time and filled it up with water, like all the way up to the top bunk. So it was like a whole swimming pool. And that was
what?
They had a swimming pool and they were drinking.
How does that work?
Because they flood the toilet, so they got water, and then they just sealed up the cell door. Everything else is concrete, so they were able to use the water from the toilet and filled it up. It was awesome.
How do you clean that up?
we just opened the door and it flooded, the housing unit. And then there's drains there, so it drains out because they're always flooding. They're always flooding to get back at the officers. They're always flooding the tier.
Oh my god!
I mean, how long were these guys in the pool before you guys found out?
Oh, they called me over and told me. I mean, because that's what I mean. They were always, they're nicer to you than the actual staff are. They'll tell you.
Yo, Mike, why don't you get your Speedo on and come over here in the pool right now? Jeffy's already in the water.
Oh, I don't like that.
That's terrible. And exciting too. I think it's fucking fantastic. I kind of want to see that.
Well, it's sad. I mean, you do 30 years in prison, you never go swimming. I always thought about that. There's no bathtub in prison, so only showers.
Oh my god. And just being told what to do, when to go, where to be. Fucking, I don't deal with that well anyway, and I couldn't imagine being locked in a box and also having those kind of rules being pushed on you. So I never.
You're missing the pool. We're gonna fill that box with fucking water, Jeffy, and be in the pool.
No, listen. If I was stuck in prison, I was watching a lot of these videos today. I'm telling you, if I were stuck in fucking prison, I would be a gangster ass prison chef. I would figure it out like a motherfucker. People from other prisons would have to come see me. They'd be like writing to other people in other prisons, like, "You wish you were locked up with this guy."
Jeffy's over there having workshops in the prison for the other prison.
I'm not even joking, man. I'll be teaching fucking class. I'll be listening. When you get out, I'm gonna show you some shit right now. Everybody line up. All right, looking. We don't got a knife.
If you're working
a credit card, we're gonna work the credit card.
Kitchen, you'll get special privileges. So if you start hooking people up with food, they'll respond real quick.
Well, Jeff, I'll give you the controls, man, if you want to start getting these videos on so we can show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, so Mike, I want to preface this, Mike, that I have not watched these yet. So
listen, let me drive the bus.
That's what makes it fun.
Here we go. So this first one, I just wanted to set the table with what this is a gentleman, I believe he's in Oklahoma, is showing us his 3 meals. Hot cot 3 meals. He's showing us his 3 meals and what he gets. Here we go.
You're looking at a typical breakfast served at a correctional facility in Oklahoma. Hot cereal, hard-boiled eggs, some potatoes, 2 slices of toast, a fortified fruit drink, milk, and the option of coffee. There are a lot of carbs, but not much protein, fiber, or vitamins. A lot of prisons serve fortified powdered drinks, often sweetened with aspartame to make up for the lack of nutrients, but most people don't drink them. By the way, an average prison meal costs around $3. Here's lunch at a detention center in Seal Beach, California. A couple of hot dogs, some potatoes, mac and cheese, green beans, and water. In a national study of prison food, 93% of incarcerated people surveyed reported feeling hungry between meals, and 94% said they weren't able to eat enough to feel full. And finally,
don't go to prison.
It consists of white rice, baked beans, cornbread, peas, applesauce, and water. It's another high-carb, low-nutrient meal. Eating meals high in sugar, salt, and refined carbs that lack protein, fiber, and essential vitamins can lead to
that cinnamon bun looks like it's fire, though.
People leave prison with lasting health problems like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, and anemia. And poor quality food does more than just physical harm. Research shows that nutritional deficiencies can contribute to behavioral and mental issues, including heightened aggression, brain fog.
Okay, all right, enough. Listen. We're not doing a public service announcement here, all right? What are you doing?
Just want you to know that prison food is not good.
It's so depressing. So then,
why?
Food though, it's you getting, having sex with everybody all the time.
Those motherfuckers had, and look, Mike, I want to say a good thing I was on there, that lunch, that motherfuckers had 2 hot dogs on those plates.
Yeah, and another thing too is they call it body. They would call it body by prison because you're allotted a certain amount of calories, but then of course you're losing all this weight. So that's why everybody is all
jacked.
Because it's all the calories, and they're actually healthier. And that's why they live longer in there. It's the being with the concrete and steel in a cell that makes you depressed and give you mental illness. But the food is always nutritious. It's just that, and you can get anything. That's not there's a store there. You can buy anything that you want. My first day that I rolled up there, somebody was yelling at me that they wanted their pizza, and I thought he was nuts. Sure enough, here comes Domino's Pizza in there because there's all these, family will send them stuff, or there's outside groups that'll bring all this food in. So they have all sorts of food.
Domino's Pizza in prison is probably like $100, right? Like
because you have all these organizations that pay for that stuff. So they get, the store they can go get sodas and stuff like that. But
but everything's mad expensive though, right?
Not
you're buying it from jail. I thought everything
just don't have any money.
Yeah, a lot of them don't have the money to do it. Most of them do because it doesn't. But it's reasonable. I mean, when I was there, it was the same price as if it was outside on the street because they just bring a vendor in that runs all the stuff.
I mean, honestly, if you don't want to eat that kind of food, just don't go to fucking prison. Like, I'm not going to feel bad for any of that. I don't care. Like,
yeah, I don't think that it was, deteriorating them mentally, but I mean, personally, we're so used to eating whatever we want, so that's the thing. It's like, you can't go get orange chicken at Panda Express. You got to have fish on Fridays because that's what they serve you. So that's the gripe that you get is, I don't want fish on Fridays. You got to have fish on Fridays.
Well,
that's where I would come in.
Jeffy's got, I got your sloppy Joe on Fridays, dog. You don't even know. Let me ask you this: if they got the hot dogs, do they get some condiments with that? Could they have a little ketchup, a little mustard? Yeah,
they do.
Good.
Yeah. So, and I would say that sometimes, especially when you're in AdSeg or you're locked up, the chef is only going to bring over 40 hot dogs or whatever. So sometimes they disappear, and that's another factor that they don't talk about because the officers come in and start eating it, or some other inmate grabs them. So you really. You learn math a different way when you get there because if you're the officer in charge of the lunches, instead of 100, you have to have 120 because by the time you get from the chow hall over to the housing unit, 20 of them are going to be gone because somebody's going to come and take them from the cart. So you just learn real quick how to adjust because it's prison.
Damn. All right. Well, look. Well, I say my positive thing there is I saw that lunch crate. Dan, they got 2 hot dogs.
I'm with that. They had a high egg on the breakfast. Breakfast looked pretty good. They had the boiled egg. They had the scrambled egg. They had the potato. I ain't mad at breakfast.
Yeah. Jeffy, what are your positive things on that?
I liked how the 3 meals, it looked like the most calories was in the lunch. And then it was like a little bit lighter on the dinner side. Like it was just
cornbread and beans. And
it was just more like vegetarian, like lighter, like rice, beans, and cornbread. And that's it. You're not as full when you're going to sleep.
And water.
It's nice.
All right. What else you got for us, Jeffy?
All right. So this next one, I just wanted to show people what people use as a heat source in their cell. Right. And this is pretty amazing how they put this together.
Hey, Bunky, what you doing?
I'm trying to heat up this water.
You need me to make you a stinger?
Hell yeah.
All right, for sure then. I got you.
All right.
I know where this is going. Oh, shit. Mike, you're muted. Does this look familiar?
Yeah, the stinger. And I have a couple of those. I use them all the time.
Oh, shit. I got to take one camping with me, make my campfires with the kid.
Look at the stone.
Was that a rock?
Yeah.
Got it from the yard.
It's just a few pieces apart.
What is happening right now?
A little salt in the water. And look, they cook in their little plastic tub.
All right, Bunky, here go your stinger.
Hell yeah, I'm about to cook.
That motherfucker made a sous vide machine.
Bussin'.
Sous vide machine.
Oh,
that dude made a sous vide machine.
Yo. So that's how a lot of people cook in prison. So just think like that's your only way of heating up your shit for the most part. Some of these other cats are even crazier. Like you must be in like a big Fed Max or something where they let this shit go down. Because
I Mike's prison, they have fucking pizza delivery.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. Plum, what do you?
That's in every prison, yeah.
Yeah, that's everything.
I like how they let him bring a stone inside of his cell. Who knows how he got it in there? They didn't search him well enough, but he got a rock in there.
Oh, you see, you get that they get that on the yard. They'll take gophers and snakes into their cell. They just get them on the yard.
Mm-hmm. A gopher?
Oh yeah, they'll have pets in their cells. Yeah.
The fuck, you got a gopher in your cell that's gonna eat you alive? Are you serious?
Yeah.
How do you remove a gopher?
I don't even need to say a comment about this thing.
I'm just curious about the gopher.
You need a pet, man. I mean, come on, you're lonely as fuck.
The guy actually made a habit trail out of coffee containers, and it ran all the way around his cell. I thought it was cool. I'm not going to touch a gopher. He can have it,
What was the gopher's name? Do you remember his name?
I don't remember the gopher's name, but there was another guy that got a baby rattlesnake that bit him in the nuts, and he had to go to the hospital because it was a baby rattlesnake, so he came close to dying. But they'll pick up animals. They'll pick up, birds fly in, and everything. They'll pick up everything.
That's yeah. God bless them. I don't know. So it's not. I don't think we need to really give a positive comment about it. That's crazy. I just
ingenuity is things to learn. Yeah. What else you got for us, Jeffy?
That's ingenuity. Okay, this one I called it Breaky in the Box. This is pretty wild. This is a breakfast.
So just,
Penitentiary life.
It automatically mutes you, so if you want to speak, just unmute yourself.
Yeah, unmute yourself so you can comment. And here we go.
Penitentiary life.
What's up, guys? Today I'm about to show you how I make egg sandwiches on my homemade hibachi grill.
What the fuck?
First thing you want to do is go ahead and get that egg fried. You want to get your bread nice and toasty.
Grill.
What's he heating that with, Mike?
You want to get your cheese melted on top. Throw your little beef sticks on there.
This is a good looking egg sandwich.
Pretty good right there.
What is going on?
Here's the end result of what the breakfast sandwich looks like, made on the hibachi grill.
Here we go. Let's go.
Did you see the cans all stacked up?
Yeah.
I think he was probably like a candle, or I don't know what the hell he did to like get like a little heat funnel going or something. I don't know. It's wild. Sometimes
or heat source for the table.
Yeah, sometimes they take like toilet paper and they'll plug those things and then light them, and then it like burns up slow and will like make a little fire torch, fucking like.
Mike, how does he get the heat in there?
Because there's sockets. So in the day room floor, there's sockets because you have there's a barber who's shaving his head or they're ironing their clothes. So there is an outlet that they'll have. But one of the other things they'll do is they'll shave the shavings from their socks, and then they'll light a spark, and that'll light up real quick to ignite when they want to cook something. Man. But that was one thing you always got to watch out for, because they would connect the electrical in their cell to the door sometimes.
Oh shit! When you touch the door, it shocks the fuck out of you.
Yeah, and the door would shock you, so you had to watch out sometimes.
Oh,
so if you saw people doing something like we just saw, like, do you shut that shit down, or are you like, whatever? Because
to me, it was about survival. So it was about, I'm going to leave you alone, you leave me alone. There were plenty of other people, and I knew that were going to come along and shut that down. But if they're happy, it's prison, man. Leave them alone. But there were people that would sticklers for rules, and they would go in there and take everything from them. And that's what I never liked about it. It was, the idea that it's constantly punishment for something. It's kind of like I got in trouble for swimming in my friend's pool when they were on vacation when I was 12, and the family still hates me for it, 40 years later. That's kind of the idea with prison, is you're still punishing these guys. Give them a break. Let them make a sandwich,
I mean, if they did murder somebody's family, and how much break you want to give them?
Yeah. But it's prison. You don't know what that guy did, But
it's a little bit different than you swimming in your neighbor's pool.
Yeah, but I just mean, like, the idea of prison is you're constantly punishing these guys, and the guy already went through. He got sentenced. Your job is to sentence these guys. Your job is just
Shout out to Vanessa chiming in. Miss you too, Vanessa. Hope you're doing well. All right, Jeffy, what other videos you got for us? Let's see one.
Nothing positive about that. Nothing. What
positive? It's fucking genius.
All right, yeah, that's what I think. It's pretty wild, man. I was like, look at this guy.
That stone they're using to heat stuff up on. I'm not sure how much you've ever messed with a stone like that, heating them up, but at a certain point, it will break. So they got that shit down to a science where it gets hot enough where it cooks but won't break.
Well, it's like they're using a table.
I thought it was a piece of stone.
No,
metal table.
No, it's a metal table.
Yeah, each day room has tables.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
And it has all the paint scraped off, and they're like cooking right on that shit.
It's a metal table, so it's a great heat source. Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. All right. What else you got for us, Jeffy?
This one's a little longer. I went down a rabbit hole with this lady.
I'm just curious of how long you're going to go, but
it's like 2.5 minutes. All right, here we go.
That's way too.
Hey, y'all. Today I'm going to show y'all how we made boneless chicken wings in the penitentiary. I'm going to use.
You may watch 2.5 minutes of this one.
Now in prison, we got it in a bag. Yeah. We didn't get it in a can, but it's just that processed chicken, barbecue chips, and barbecue sauce. All of these ingredients you can buy on commissary. To cook with, I'm going to use my handy dandy blow dryer / oven and a brown paper bag. Let me show y'all what's up.
See, she goes fast now.
Not fast enough.
There's no way to click ahead on her. I wish there was.
Why she just stare at the camera while she broke the chips up? That was weird.
No, because she's excited. Look at her. She's like, No hands, Mom. Look how fast she goes. Oh, this is the part.
All right.
My
Mike, what is she doing here? Do you know, Mike? Or you probably have hair
the
dryers.
chip bag to use for my tray. Sometimes I might put a magazine under it, but since I'm just right here, I don't really need a magazine for a base. And I'm just going to start taking our chicken chips and barbecue sauce mixture and forming them into the shape of a hot wing or a barbecue wing.
That shit's already cooked. What is she talking about here?
No gloves. It's getting at it.
It's pretty good shape for a wing
all
there.
my wings formed onto my tray. I'm just going to slide it in this paper bag. And this paper bag is going to serve as our oven.
What?
I'm going to use a book to keep this paper bag closed. In prison, we had ID holders that had a little clip. Some people would use that. I often used my college book.
Oh.
Hey y'all, looks
Jeff,
like
I feel
our
like you
wings
love
are
her.
ready. I left these on the air dryer, on the blow dryer for about 20
air
minutes,
dryer.
25 minutes. And they come out like this. And you can sauce them up a bit.
You already got.
And
all right.
just kind of roll them around in the barbecue sauce so they're nice and messy like real chicken wings. And we make this same recipe with, if we want hot wings, with jalapeno chips and hot sauce. So I'm going to serve mine up. I'm going to roll them around in this barbecue sauce, and I'm going to put ranch on the side to dip for Brittany's lunch. So thank y'all for joining me. See y'all later.
This bitch went to prison with fucking Martha Stewart.
I almost want to go to prison with women now.
Jesus, Jeff.
She is one of the better ones. She's very prison cute.
Oh yeah, prison cute. I mean, she's probably a solid 8.5 in prison. I feel like.
Yeah, she would be a ton.
Okay,
She's walking tall. She's walking tall.
I mean, Mike, you ever seen some prison wings like that?
I have. I would just never eat them, but A for effort.
I mean, I don't know, man. Damn, we gotta have a special at the pantry next week.
I would definitely eat them if I were in prison because there's nothing,
Yeah, me too.
For sure. I mean, it was, again, ingenuity. I like that one, the hot wings, the hot sauce and jalapeno chip one. That sounded good. The variation on the classic. That sounded delicious.
I watched her make that, and all I could think was,
does anyone have any standards here?
I meant
prison.
It's like with some gloves. I mean, you can make a fucking oven out of a fucking bag and a hairdryer, but you can't get me some kind of gloves to wear, for God's sakes.
Yeah, but the problem if Gordon Ramsay was in the prison, they'd just stab him. So you got to watch what you say when people make you something to eat in prison. You're
That's
just like,
right.
I love it. It's great.
Our friend Vanessa's chiming in, and she says she had a Paula Deen quality to her. Yeah, I kind of agree.
Right?
There was definitely a little bit of a Paula Deen thing going on.
Yo,
And
I can't remember her name, but
Chaz, good brother Chaz, is
Chaz.
chiming in saying he would eat it. So, I mean, if Chaz, you'd eat anything. So, what the fuck are you talking about? Look, there we go. Ingenuity. I got to give it to her. Listen, I made potato chips and turned them into mashed potatoes on television. So, I can't say much.
You can go to jail and swing it. Listen, what I liked is the follow through with flavor. Right? She took the canned chicken pretty plain, but then she took the barbecue chips and then the barbecue sauce. Flavor. She had some building flavor.
I feel like she had a theme. I feel like she had a theme happening. Did you feel that?
I'm just saying that's she's thinking like a chef, and I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Easy.
All right, here we go.
Well, wait, you didn't get Mike getting feedback?
Mike,
anything
so
positive
sorry,
on
Mike.
that one, Mike?
Oh, it's all positive. Yeah, because she does the combination. That's what it's all about. It's curing the boredom of prison. So she's got different ingredients.
Fair enough. All right.
Oh man, this is.
Jeff, I got time for a couple more. What else you got?
All right, solid. All right, this one. I got 2 more videos, so we have time for these, and they're not that long.
Let's do it.
About a minute each. So this one here is I call it prison pozole.
Oh.
Hey, Bunky, good morning, man. I'm going to make some pozole today. You think you want some?
Yeah, but I'm about to go to court right now. Hopefully it's ready when I get back.
Yeah, man, I have it ready. I got you.
Cool.
Good luck.
I like how he tells a little story.
You got a pickle in there, a salami, some chicken, corn nuts.
All the thing.
What the fuck are we doing here? Make a little broth. Give me that chili powder. There you go.
All right. That was the chili limon.
Yeah. Get that credit card knife out. ID knife.
Yo, the
chicharrones?
pork chips. Yeah. The pork rinds.
Fucking pickle juice.
Yeah.
What is happening right now?
Hold on. Hold on. Can we pause that?
No, you can't pause it.
God damn it.
Just let it ride.
Bussin'.
Bussin'.
Awesome.
Dude's out of his fucking mind. Mike, you got to go first.
That looks absolutely disgusting, but at the same time, I'm interested in it. Just because you got the corn nuts and the pickle juice. So
Right.
I would, and again, you're in a cell with another guy, so it's intimate. It's kind of,
Sure.
You're at a restaurant, so I would definitely try it.
I have a feeling that's the same recipe they used to make hybrid batteries for cars. That's my thought.
That's not very positive. I just gotta say, we gotta let's get back on track here with some positive comments about these delicious food videos.
Sure.
That these chefs have worked hard at making.
I like the addition of the pickle juice to add a little bit of tartness to it.
There you go.
It must have been bussin'.
There you go.
Them layers of flavor, like you stacking them flavors. You got the corn nuts with the saltiness, and then you have the brininess of the pickles. But then you got the chicken, and then you had what he put in the hot sauce, and he just was just hitting it with all the flavors. So I don't know. I'll give it a shot.
Chaz says the corn nuts on Instagram, Facebook. Chaz says corn nuts are setting
That
it
texture,
off.
he got texture going on in there.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Don't corn nuts get soggy?
Yeah, I think he's bringing in like a little of that hominy feel. And
hominy,
Pasole,
Okay.
he's like soaking them up. What's up, Michael?
Shout out to Mike Stein from Ergo Chef. Appreciate you, brother. Hope you're feeling better.
We love Mike. I just appreciate how he kept it very authentic with the corn and the pork, with the chicken and the sausage. It really had no vegetables at all, which kind of hurt me.
Pork
but
rinds.
Definitely had a pasole feel. That's not a vegetable
in my brain. Not from down south.
All right. So, but that's a pasole in prison, which I think.
Mike Stein chiming says corn nuts break teeth. Mike, you go back and watch that video that we just watched. No, they don't. Those corn nuts ain't breaking nobody's teeth.
We soaked them corn nuts for
30 minutes.
That's right. All right, Jeff, you got one more good one for us?
Yeah, I wanted to say something to Mike with a little video quick, but I'll save it for after.
Wait, Vanessa's chiming in. Ignorance is bliss. This show's theme is prison foods. Yes, you're absolutely. That's where it went. That's where it went, Vanessa. That's where it went. Our good brother here joining us, Mike Knox, is a comedian from the West Coast, from out in LA. He's hanging out with. He's written 2 fantastic books. And not only that, he's also a former prison guard. So we thought it'd be appropriate to talk about prison food with him. So here we go.
Check him out on Mike Knox Comedy on IG. Check out.
Yep. Yeah, and I tend to I do a little production around here, so I wanted to steer it this way because I thought, prison food is going to be fun.
Wait, I also do want to. Mike stop with the comment of the night from Ergo Chef chiming in. Oh, there it is.
He's been enlightened.
The Electric Factory.
The Electric Factory's chimed in. There we go.
Oh my God! Here we go. All right, here we go. Last one. This is Jailhouse Pizza. Feast your eyes.
What the fuck? I'm finna show you how to make a jail pizza. Why the fuck this nigga got enough bread to make a whole pizza? Then he cutting off all the brown pieces. Then he put the bread in the rolls, bro. The fuck do they teach this? Keep water with the bread, bro. I'm speechless. Keep hitting it with the water so it kinda get dense. Then you fold all the sides, make it look like a fence. Then you get some big ass sausages. You can cut a nigga finger off with this. He finna cover all the walls up with shit. He got pepperoni and some bacon bits. Nigga, you should get 100 years for making this. Spread sweet baby rays up in a zigzag. But it really don't matter, you dumb if you did that. Get some cheese mozzarella, try to make impact. Get some water, put it in the microwave for 10, nigga, come back. You see when it's hot, you see how slimy it got. That's how you know it's ready. Then put it on the top, make sure it looks stringy, like a bottom of a mop. Pepperonis, bacon bits, and pickles, put that shit up on the top. Put it in the microwave for 20, make it hot. Then you get a jelly packet, then you put like 20 drops. Why this shit ain't coming out? When you finish eating this, I bet your celly put you out. Cause you was pushing on the toilet all night, but wasn't shit coming out.
Every time Chaz has what we're all thinking on Facebook. He just chimed in. What am I seeing? I couldn't agree more. Okay. Wow. That guy's the best rap I've ever heard.
That slaps.
Like the bottom of a mop.
Like a bottom of a mop.
Yo. The whole thing slaps, and it is informative at the same time. This guy should be paid for PSAs in all fields, everywhere. Gentlemen,
Sure.
I am a terrible producer. I stole your video. I have no idea what your name is, but we're watching it, and if anybody else does know his name, drop it in the comments.
Wow. Okay. What is that? Any feedback?
I mean, I really liked what he did with the loaf of bread. It looked like he could maybe make bake a apple pie or something later on with it. But
he's got a dough, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
If I stop chiming in, dang, it's so good to eat it off a flip flop. That's. I mean, that guy was amazing. Dan, what do you got? You got something positive to say?
I like to use how he turned the sausage into pepperoni and bacon. That was genius. That was enlightening. I didn't even know it was a thing, but he did it.
I like to put in the "What did we learn tonight" category about prison. Pickles are considered vegetables.
I mean, technically. Oh, well, no, I guess they're fruit, but
yeah. Steven Brandon chimed in on Facebook. I'd hate to be in the cell with him after he ate that. Yeah, no kidding, right? He says it in the song. He's like, "You pushing like it ain't coming out or something." I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm sure wet, pasty white bread crust really soaks up everything in your body.
Curious where you're going with that. I was letting you rock.
It's just such a beautiful way of thinking outside of the box.
I guess.
Like when you look at that and like, I mean, listen, if we were on a deserted island, you'd never seen pizza for years, and I just all of a sudden popped up and was like, dog, I figured it out. You know that bread we make? We're gonna turn that shit.
If I can make bread, it means we have dough. I can have bread.
Pizza dough won't work for some reason.
Mike, stop chime in. It's not good for his diverticulitis. So that's good to know. If you have diverticulitis, stay away from prison pizza. Just throw that out there.
The electric factory strikes again.
Oh my shit.
Mike, cone out, bro. Let's cone out. That's all right.
That's right.
My dog.
That's right. There you go.
This is just like the professor from Gilligan's Island. He's the one making everything. You need that guy in prison.
1000%. All right, listen, Jeffy, is that all the prison videos you have to watch?
That's all the prison videos I'm going to make you watch.
All right, good. Well, they were informative. I feel like I've got specials for tomorrow now. I'm ready to go.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's a whole different way of cooking. You got to just think like, all I have is this old sock and this air conditioner vent and this
what?
I'm just trying to think of how you might make.
Chaz on Facebook chiming in saying I'm still watching, so that's good. And Vanessa's chiming in on Facebook. Pasty white bread prison culture. Are you sure this is about food or gang codes? I don't think there's much of a difference, to be honest with you. Our good friend Mike right here is a former prison guard. Will tell you it's probably all about the same thing. Jesus.
It's survival. It's just like if we were in war. I'm sure my grandfather made some stuff.
Sure.
MREs.
Sure. Why not? Mike, you were awesome, brother. We appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us tonight, man. You're fun. You're good people, man. Dan, get those plugs out for him. I'm gonna show those books too.
Yeah, Mike Knox Comedy at his IG, and there you got the LinkedIn. He got all the links to his books and all the kind of things he got going on, his events. Check him out in LA doing comedy.
That's right. Vivian's Reign is also one of his books. It's about his daughter's battle with epilepsy from his point of view, right, Mike? From the parents' point of view.
Yes.
Very, very cool. And of course, Straight Fish, a correctional officer story from working in prison, novel, Life Behind Bars. Very impressive, man. You're like a smart guy. Can write books, dude. That's awesome, dude. You're fun, dude. I appreciate hanging out with us, man. I wasn't sure what's going to happen here, but it seemed to work out well. You're an expert on prison food, which makes it excellent for us.
I had a lot of fun. Thanks for having me,
dude. You're the man. Make sure you check him out. Find his Instagram, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Knox. There he is. Woo! Thank you, brother. Hey, he was a lot of fun to hang out with.
Super fun, man. Super fun.
I felt bad. We brought him on the show for the first time and made him watch prison cooking videos, but I don't know. I guess that's what we do, right?
Well, he said he worked in prison. I didn't know what else to...
Makes sense to me.
That was like my favorite thing. It was just a great excuse to go down that rabbit hole today on TikTok. I can't even lie. Thanks, Chaz. Thanks a lot.
Chaz chiming in on Facebook says, great show. Appreciate you, Chaz. Thank you, man. Listen, we appreciate you guys taking the time to hang out with us here on the program. Dan, final words, sir.
I feel like I'm not being I'm not being smart enough with how I cook things. I got to see things from a different level. I got to start approaching things from a whole, like, you know, I've been taking things like so easy, and I'm not diving deep enough into white bread, into summer sausage, into pickles, and I'm gonna get there, and I'm heading on that journey now. That's where I'm headed next week. I'm gonna be a whole different guy.
That's
Sounds
awesome,
like a plan. Make sure you check me out tomorrow somewhere locally across this country in your local morning radio shows. Anna and Raven syndicated. You'll find me doing another instance of my March sauceness where we're making different pasta sauces each week. Make sure you check that out. It's going to be amazing. Coming in randomly on Facebook here. Vanessa's now in charge of the show. Wants to know off topic. You guys watch the Epicurious channel on YouTube? I have a couple of times actually. I have seen it. Yes, 100%. I know a couple people at Epicurious actually. And Mike Staub, Dutchess Factory. Enjoy, guys. No, thank you, brother. We appreciate you. Make sure you check them out. We're going to be on that show too. The National Syndicated Anna Raven Show. Find me there. We got a bunch of stuff happening there. Talking about sauce for pastas. Jeffy, final words for you, and then we were hitting the road. We got some zombies to kill on the Oculus.
Yeah, buddy. For me, I just realized that I don't take enough shortcuts. You know, I'm not using the wrapper that the food came in to cook it in. I'm not taking advantage of chips ever, and that's all going to change.
I love how you've broadened your horizons on this program. That's very, very cool, very, very fun. Shout out to our new friend Mike Knox. We appreciate him joining the program tonight. Make sure you follow him, Mike Knox Comedy on Instagram. He's a good brother. We appreciate his time. Friends, for Chef Jeffy, for Chef Dan, my name is Chef Plum. Friends, remember, food is one of the most important things that we have in life. Everything important in life revolves around food. Let's make sure we give the time it deserves. We'll see you guys next week right here on PlumLuvFoods Live. Peace, friends.
I'm the tower of power, too sweet to be sour. I'm funky like a monkey. Sky's the limit and space is the place.
Thank you for listening to PlumLuvFoods Live. See you next week, good brothers and sisters.
Do you think I'm crazy?